Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. You are welcome to Cordros webinar. I promise you it's going to be an exciting one. It will be a session of imparting knowledge and learning a lot of things about compulsory insurance. My name is Olanike Olabode, the MD of Cordros Insurance Brokers Limited. Cordros Insurance Brokers Limited is a subsidiary of Cordros Capital Limited And Cordros Capital Limited is a financial conglomerate that consists of 6 businesses. We have Cordros Securities, Cordros Asset Management, Cordros Advisory Services Limited, Cordros Trustees, Cordros Registrar, and Cordros Insurance Broker. You're all welcome once again on this call. With me, I have 2 speakers in the house that will be discussing with us at length on the importance of compulsory insurance and the need for it, and the benefit that will stand to gain from it. I have with me Dr. Ola Agbola, and I'll be reading the profile of Dr. Agbola. And I also have with me Mr. Moses Oyeyemi. So I'll be taking the bow of Dr. Agbola. Dr. Agbola Omoniyi Oladipupo is a chartered insurance practitioner, registered insurance broker, certified CIBN microfinance banker, chartered company secretary, compliance and corporate governance professional, CIPM subject matter expert pension and compensation, learning and development professional. He started his insurance career 27 years ago, where he was trained in life insurance agency, underwriting, and branch operations. Ola has since worked in various insurance institutions, including 3 insurance companies and 3 registered insurance brokers. Ola is compassionate at building leadership pipeline for organizational continuity. Ola was the guest speaker of Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, for the 2023 induction of new fellows and associates. Currently, Ola serves as a member of technical and editorial committee of CIIN. For his public service, community development, academic prowess, and professional practice, Ola has received an array of awards and recognition. He was the 2nd runner-up winner of the African Insurance Organization AIO Book Award Competition of the 2023 edition. A seasoned academic and a consultant, Ola was educated at various times in Yaba College of Education, University of Lagos, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology Ogbomoso, Joseph Ayo Babalola University of Osun State. Dr. Omoniyi Oladipupo Agbola holds 1 doctorate degree with specialization in microinsurance for MSME, 2 master's degree, and 3 undergraduate degree. He is a transformational leader and has led 3 major highly successful business turnaround, corporate, and reengineering in insurance industry. He is the author of the award-winning textbook titled Microinsurance, Entrepreneurship, and National Development. He was a contributing author on Modern Insurance Practice, a textbook for tertiary institutions published by Professional Insurance Ladies Association. He has published numerous academic articles published in high-rated journal outlets. Dr. Agbola currently works as the Executive Director, Commercial at Royal Exchange Prudential Life PLC. It will be the first speaker that will be addressing us on today's webinar. Let me also quickly go to the bow of Mr. Moses Oyeyemi before we go right into the presentation of today. The bow of Mr. Oyeyemi. I want to take the bow of the second speaker before we go into the business of today. The profile of Mr. Oyeyemi.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. While the slides are being put up, I'll just quickly read out the profile of Mr. Oyeyemi, our second speaker. So, Mr. Moses Oyeyemi holds a higher national diploma in insurance from Lagos State Polytechnic and a BSc degree in the same field from Joseph Ayo Babalola University, Osun State, respectively. He has a postgraduate diploma certificate in education from the National Teachers Institute, Kaduna. He is an affiliate of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He is also an associate member of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, and the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria, respectively. Mr. Moses is a passionate, self-motivated, energetic, and results-oriented professional with specialization in insurance and risk management, with over 15 years cognate experience. Before joining Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC in October 2012, Mr. Moses worked at Competent Insurance Brokers Limited and two other notable brokerage firms where he served in various capacities before becoming the head of technical operations. Mr. Moses joined the company as a manager and head of claims in the motor department. He is the current head of the reinsurance and claims departments for the organization. Moses serves as the chairman of the product development committee and the underwriting committee of the company, respectively. He's an active member and the immediate past chairman of the Fire Offices Committee of the Nigerian Insurance Association. Under his leadership, the committee, in collaboration with the Professional Reinsurers Association of Nigeria, successfully developed and implemented a new fire insurance underwriting and pricing manual for the insurance industry in Nigeria. Moses, being a certified teacher, has been actively involved in building human resource for the insurance industry in Nigeria and some other African countries such as Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Gambia. He brings to bear an enormous wealth of experience to the management team of Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC. Thank you very much. That is Mr. Oyeyemi Temitope Moses' profile. He is the Assistant General Manager, Reinsurance and Claims of Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nkechi. So before we go to the presentation, before we have the first speaker, please, I want us to listen to the following housekeeping rules. Please, let's ensure we mute ourselves. Please mute yourself, and if you have any questions and answers, please drop it in the chat box. We are going to be attending to all your questions and all your answers. Now, I'll leave the floor open for the first speaker, Dr. Oladipupo Agbola, to take us on his presentation. You are welcome, sir. You have the floor, Doctor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to join the webinar on the importance and types of compulsory insurance in Nigeria. May I especially thank our friends and partners at Cordros Insurance Brokers and the entire group of Cordros, and to the numerous friends, colleagues, customers, and clients on the call. You're all welcome to knowing your cover and the importance and types of compulsory insurance in Nigeria. Okay, as a way of introduction, compulsory insurance represents one of the most powerful public tools that government uses for economic stability, social protection, and risk transfer in modern economies. In Nigeria, compulsory insurance has evolved from fragmented statutory provisions into a more structured and reform-driven framework, especially under the newly passed NIRA, which is called Nigeria Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025. Now, for a country like Nigeria, who is aspiring towards achieving 1 trillion economy, it is important that we must strengthen compliance, enforcement, and public awareness of compulsory insurance. Now, this is no longer an option. It is a strategic tool to doing that. Now, to serve national objective, usually government of various countries will make out laws making certain classes of insurance to be compulsory. The reason why governments of any land, by government we are talking about the national government, the federal government, they will promulgate law, make legislation, making certain aspects of insurance to be compulsory. And 3 major reasons, apart from so many other reasons. 1, to protect the innocent third parties. Number 2, to increase insurance penetration. And number 3, for mobilization of long-term capital for national development. These are the 3 major reasons why we have compulsory insurance in any country. Now, I made mention of NIRA, that is Nigeria Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025. Let me quickly say that the purpose of NIRA was to modernize, to consolidate, and to strengthen the Nigeria insurance regulatory framework. And this aims to do 5 things. Number 1, to improve industry capitalization and solvency standards, to strengthen regulatory oversight under the National Insurance Commission, which is popularly referred to and known as NICOM, to expand and to clarify compulsory insurance provisions. 4, to enhance consumer protection. 5, to increase insurance penetration, and to promote enforcement collaboration with various government agencies. Now, NIRA marks a significant shift from the previous passive regulation to now an active enforcement and structured compliances. During the course of this webinar, I'll be mentioning various regulatory agencies who are in partnership with National Insurance Commission to ensure compliance with these compulsory insurances. Now,
Thank you, sir.
when we talk
Sorry.
about
Hello, sir. Can you help us share your slides? I don't think we can see your slides right now, but you can go ahead. Thank you very much.
can you see the slide now?
Yes,
Yes,
we
you can
can
put
see
it in
it.
slideshow, sir.
Okay, thank you. It's already in slideshow, it will resume. Okay, so when we talk about compulsory insurance, are you able to see my slide now?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. When we talk about compulsory insurance, what is compulsory insurance? Compulsory insurance are classes of insurance that is mandated by law, requiring you, me, individuals, businesses, or institutions to obtain specific insurance coverage in order to protect third parties and the public interest. Now, failure to obtain such certain coverages makes you to commit a statutory offense, and this attracts penalties. I made mention earlier, there are reasons for compulsory insurance, and the following are critical reasons why compulsory insurance exists for you as an individual, for me as an individual, for your company, for the institution you work with, and for the businesses you are running. 1, protection of third parties. By this, it ensures that victims of accidents, negligences, or disasters receive financial compensation. Number two, for social stability, this prevents financial hardship from becoming systemic economic crisis. Three, compulsory insurance exists for risk pooling and economic resilience. By this, we mean a way of spreading catastrophic risk across a wider base. Then the fourth reason for compulsory insurance is for formation of capital. Insurance funds are invested in government securities and infrastructure. Five, regulatory discipline. It encourages structured risk management culture across various industries. And six, it limits government burden and it allows for economic stability. These are the various reasons for compulsory insurances. Now, who enforces compulsory insurance? There are two layers of enforcement. The first primary layer of enforcement rests with National Insurance Commission, and that is who we refer to as NICOM. They are the ones that enforce compulsory insurance to ensure that you must hold out a coverage for all of the available compulsory insurance in Nigeria. To make these enforcements work, to make the implementation seamless, National Insurance Commission has gone into various alliances, partnership, and collaboration with other regulatory authorities and agencies in the country. So we have such like the Nigerian Police Force, such that when you drive your motor vehicle on the road, you could be stopped and asked where is evidence of your third-party motor insurance. Then we have Federal Road Safety, they will also do that. Now, in terms of buildings and public buildings, we have state building control agencies in various states where you reside. Now, compulsory insurance that has to do with credit life, Central Bank of Nigeria has the duty to do the enforcement. For marine and some certain allied transportation, NIMASA also have the right to do the enforcement alongside with NICOM. Now, for aviation liabilities, we have the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. These are the enforcement agencies for compulsory insurance in Nigeria. Now, let me quickly say this. Compulsory insurance is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. We have it across countries in Africa. We have it in Egypt, in Ghana, in Liberia, in Gambia, and so many other countries because government needed to protect the citizens. Now, you may ask, what if I do not have compulsory insurances? What are the penalties? Now, the penalties are stipulated under Nigerian Insurance Reform Act 2025 include monetary fines. You could be fined as an individual or as a corporate organization. There could be legal action against you. In fact, certain sections of NARA also say there could be imprisonment. Your business premises could be sealed up, and you could also be held liable as a chief executive officer if you fail to have coverage on any of the compulsory insurances for your businesses. Now, NARA strengthens the legislative framework for the National Insurance Commission to do this enforcement and to also implement. So those are the penalties for non-compliance. Now, let's now look at the details of what compulsory insurances are. Now, in Nigeria, following the recently signed Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, we have not less than 11 compulsory insurances, 11 of them. And these are littered in various sections and subsections of the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025. Now, for me, I'll quickly run through identification of those compulsory insurances. There are 11. My dear friend, brother, and colleague, David Tokwe Moses, we do justice as to the technicalities of all of these compulsory insurances. So for you as an individual, as a business owner, as a staff, as an employee, as an employer, as a pastor, as an imam, as someone that belongs to one group or the other, what are the compulsory insurances you need to know? Number one, group life insurance. Now, Section 68, subsection 1 of Nigerian Insurance Reform Act 2025 made group life insurance compulsory. Now, what the law says is that for all employers in Nigeria that has a minimum of 3 staff, you must provide a minimum of 3 times annual total emolument benefit for all your employees. Now, proud to NERA 2025, we have Pension Reform Act 2004, amended as Pension Reform Act 2014, made group life compulsory. It means that if you work with an organization that has a minimum of 3 staff, it is your right that your employer must provide group life cover for you. The implication is that when life happens to you and you're no longer here, 36 months salary, which has been catered for in group life, will be paid to your named beneficiary. Now, let me quickly say this. Named beneficiary is different from next of kin. Next of kin can be any of your friends who you feel can be called up or called upon during emergency. But your beneficiary are the one that you hold financial responsibility for when you are no longer here. That is that about group life. Now, let me put a picture to it. Now, I work for Real Estate Prudential Life, and we have various classes of group life. We insure various schemes, from oil and gas to energy to financial institution to banks to cooperative and so many other things. Now, a lady lost the husband, and the total premium that was paid for that scheme for the group life was just about 2 million naira. And for the lady's husband, 45 million naira was paid. Now, you could imagine a premium of 2 million naira by employer and just one staff has 45 million naira. Now, the implication is that if that man had died and the employer did not provide group life, that 45 million naira will never have been paid to the widow. So, the employer owes you duty to provide group life insurance. Now, what are the options you have if and when you work in a company and your employer did not provide? You have the duty to hold conversation with your HR, who will present to the management, and they should grant you cover. If, however, they refuse and a member of that organization dies, the named beneficiary has the right to sue that company and recover 36 months salary of the deceased employee. That's the provision of the law. Now, for you to avoid all those litigation, fines, and penalties, you must provide group life insurance. There are a few other things you need to know about that. It's an opportunity for you to partner with Cordros Insurance Brokers. Meet Madam Olanike Olabode. Anytime you want to insert group life insurance cover for your staff, she will be able to speak with one of the various life insurance experts in the market, of which Real Estate Prudential Life is one. So that's about group life. Number 2, we have builders liability. Now, Section 75 of the Nigerian Insurance Reform Act 2005 says that all buildings under construction must be adequately insured. Moses will speak more about that. Section 76 talks about insurance of public buildings. Now, this insurance of public buildings technically is called occupiers liability. This applies to buildings like hotels, hospitals, schools, shopping malls, event centers, recreation centers, and a host of that. Now, the provision of the law, as stipulated in Section 76 of NERA, is that all public buildings must be adequately insured, such that if any of the visitors or any of the users of these public buildings had issues, then their insurance must cater for that individual. Now, we have Section 77 that talks about insurance of government assets and employees. Currently in Nigeria, government represents the largest buyers of insurance. And so that has been identified, and that act says that all government assets, whether state government, local government, federal government, they must insure their staff. they must also insure their assets. That's the provision of the law. So this insurance of government assets and employees cover federal, state, and local government assets and personnel. I'll talk about Section 78 of the NERA. This talks about insurance of petroleum and gas. I mean, it includes goods in transit, automobile liability, public liability, and motor property, especially for things that has to do with petroleum and gas. Now, let me quickly bring your mind to Otedola Bridge, which is on Lagos, Ibadan. Over time, you see a lot of things that happen on that road. You see accidents, you see spillover of all these 33,000 liters of PMS and all of those things. Now, government had recognized that as a terrible loss, and to ease the bodies of the citizens, government now says that if you are a carrier of any of the petroleum product group, whether ATK, PMS, DPK, or HGO, what have you, you must insure your trucks, at least on a third-party basis. That's the provision. Number 6, we have professional indemnity for healthcare provider. Healthcare provider refers to people in the medical, the hospital, the nurses, the doctor, the dentist, the people that have to do with eyes, nose, and all of those things. You must hold out professional indemnity to cater for your losses, negligences, errors, omissions when you render professional services to people. Now, you must have also had cases where surgeries, whether major or minor, was conducted, and after 2 or 3 days or 4 days, it is said that scissors, needles, or one of the accessories were let inside the vessels of the people that were operated on. Now, if that led to the death of that individual, the provision of the law is that that individual patient can sue. That individual patient can sue the government, I mean, can sue the doctor, the medical practitioner, and make some certain recovery. Now, these medical people, these healthcare providers, will have to depend on their professional indemnity to make good the loss. And so, if you're a medical doctor, you're a physiotherapist, you're involved in orthopedic, in surgery, in dentist, or what have you, the law says that you must hold out professional indemnity to cater for what? To cater for cases of negligences, errors, mistakes, or what have you. That is that about professional indemnity for healthcare providers. Now, we now have Section 81 of NERA. This talks about aviation insurance. Now, aviation insurance has to do with the third party, whether refueling, cargo, and some other thing. It is compulsory that you must at least have cover for your aviation third party liabilities to cater for people within that space. Then Section 82 talks about marine cargo. For all your imports, it is compulsory you must buy marine cargo insurance. Now, we now have one that is very common to many of us. Now, Section 84 talks about motor third party insurance. It says that if your vehicle must move on the public road, then you must buy third-party insurance. Third-party insurance for private vehicle, third-party insurance for commercial vehicle. Now, we have Section 91, subsection 3, that says that if you are taking out loan of a minimum of 10 million naira or thereabout from any of the financial institution, credit institution, banks, mortgage banks, MFBs, you must do credit life insurance. And finally, the 11th compulsory insurance is what? Is container insurance. Now, these are the 11 compulsory insurances that we have in Nigeria as we speak. Let me quickly say, in the West Africa space, Nigeria market has grown faster than a few others. And in Nigeria, we have 11. In Ghana, we have about 5. In Gambia, about 3 or 4. In Sierra Leone, lesser compulsory insurance. Now, Nigeria has 11 because of the rate of our development, because of our population, and so that government can do what? Can quickly respond to national concerns, and they can also ease the burden of the state. Now, who must buy compulsory insurance? You must buy. I must buy. Your employer must buy. Your church must buy. Your mosque must buy. If you hold out a public building, or you are currently constructing your own building, you must buy. Employers, whether you're a private company or public company, you must buy. For contractors and developers in real estate, you must buy. I have some of my friends that are on the call. I recognize my brother of many years, Pastor Tunde Okuseyide, as a real estate professional involved in development and contract. You must buy compulsory insurance for buildings under construction. If you're a school owner and you operate hospitals and some certain public buildings, you must buy. For oil and gas operators, you must buy. You are involved in importing and exporting, you must buy compulsory insurance that is related and relevant to your space. Then you own out a vehicle, the minimum is third party minimum. But for you to have adequate and comprehensive coverage, then you must buy comprehensive insurance, which is not compulsory. Therefore, government, ministry, department, and agency, you must buy. People involved in logistics and shipping, you must buy. These are people who must buy compulsory insurance. So the asset test you do is that, what assets do I have? Do I have a motor vehicle? Then I must buy. Do I have a school? I must buy. Am I involved in healthcare industry? I must buy. Now, how do you buy compulsory insurances? Now, compulsory insurance must be purchased from NICOM licensed insurance companies, whether life insurance company for you to buy group life and credit life, or general insurance company for you to buy your motor, marine, and so a few others. Then you must also buy through licensed insurance agents and brokers like Cordros Insurance Brokers. Therefore, a group life, you could buy from Royal Estate Prudential Life and some other life insurance company that is licensed by NICOM. Then you could also buy through various available digital insurance platforms. You can also buy via insurtech companies, whether standalone or partnership. Now, when you also buy, there are some certain verification you will get, especially for your motor insurance. You will get an NID that shows that you have complied. When you also buy group life too, you also get certificates to evidence that you must buy. Now, when you buy, which is what many of us need to know, what are the benefits when you buy? I explain the benefit for group life. There are also benefits for the third party, the which my dear friend and brother, David Moses Oyemi, will take his time to do. Now, once you suffer a loss, accidents, then certain documents are required of you to provide, and you must also follow certain processes. Now, people say insurance don't pay, insurance has issues. No, insurance don't have issues. You just need to know the few basic processes you must follow once you suffer a loss, once you have an accident. And what are the 5 steps? Number 1, notify the insurance company you buy from, directly or through your broker or through your registered agent. Number 2, submit the required documentation, either from group life or third party for credit life. Then number 3, the insurance company will do their little investigation to verify the authenticity and genuineness of your paper. Then number 4, they will do adjustment. Number 5, they do settlement for you and you collect your money. You are restored to the position of grace. Now, let me say this: for third party claims can directly claim from the insurance company or from where? Or through the broker. But I encourage you to use insurance brokers who will be able to guide you in a way that you not have problems in all of this. Now, what are the impacts of compulsory insurance on our $1 trillion economy? If fully implemented and enforced, compulsory insurance in Nigeria can do 4 things among others. Number 1, it will increase insurance penetration. Currently, Nigerian insurance penetration remains less than 1% of our gross domestic product, GDP. Enforcement could double the current premium volume that we have, I think about 1.5 trillion. So it means that when you purchase compulsory insurance, you are contributing to accomplishment and achievement of $1 trillion economy. Number 2, it helps to deepen financial market. By doing this, insurance funds is available for mobilization of long-term capital for infrastructure financing and a whole of other things. Then it also reduces fiscal burden. Government disaster spending reduces when risks are privately insured. Then number 4, it protects the medium, micro, small enterprises. These are the impact. Then there's also attraction of foreign investment. These are the impact of compulsory insurances. I think I will have to stop here so I can allow my dear brother to take on the space and also do his presentation. At the end of presentation of Temitope Moses Oyeyemi, then we can have question and answer. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, I have some certain questions from Oluyemi Samson, but this will be taken at the appropriate time. Thank you for the opportunity for this presentation. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir, Dr. Agbola. Thank you, sir, Dr. Agbola, for the insightful presentation. Just to summarize what you have presented to us, you made mention of compulsory insurance as is mandated by law. It's a class of insurance that's mandated by law, and you mentioned that there are 11 of them according to the different sections in NERA 2025. And you also mentioned that when they are not comply with their penalty to be paid by people that didn't comply with it. And you also mentioned to us that how do we get this compulsory insurance, that we can get them by through registered insurance broker, through Cordros Insurance Broker. I want to say thank you so much. Please, if you have questions for Dr. Agbola, please kindly drop them in the chat box. We are going to be taking questions after the second presentation. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Agbola, for the insightful presentation. Now, we'll go to the second presenter, the speaker. So the floor is open now for Mr. Moses Oyeyemi to take us in the second round of the presentation, while people are dropping, where the participants are dropping their questions in the chat box. All the questions will be treated. So you have the floor now, Mr. Moses. You can share your slide.
All right, thank you, Ma. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm privileged to be here. And I must say kudos to my dear brother, Dr. Agbola, who has justice to this webinar. Honestly, maybe ordinarily we should just be taking questions on and on, because by the way, I don't know, maybe you just cited my presentation and one way or the other, yes. I mean, being able to pick one or two things from what I ought to discuss, but that is fine. So it cannot be too much. All right. So please confirm that you can hear me very audibly. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Oh, all right. All right. Thank you. So my job here is just to speak very briefly regarding the importance and type of compulsory insurance. It's just like a corroborative discussion anyway. My side here is just to corroborate what Dr. Agbola has presented already. It is no news to any one of us now that we have a new law in town. Gone are the days when Insurance Act 2003 dominated and then guided the way things are done with regards to insurance and the like. And in that act, if you remember, that Insurance Act 2003, few covers were made compulsory. However, this NERA, talking about the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, you can see that it's a consolidating law because it brought together several pieces of legislations regarding insurance and making more of these policies compulsory. Like ever before now, we didn't hear something like maybe container insurance. Yes, ever before now, we didn't hear something like maybe credit life insurance being compulsory. But this time, these are compulsory. And why do you need to know this as a businessman? Why do you need to know this as an insurance practitioner? Because I want to believe that many of my colleagues who are playing in the same field, I mean, in the same industry, are right here. So why do you need to know this? We need to know this so that none of us cannot be caught in the web, that maybe we do not know what the law is, because ignorance of the law is never an excuse at all. And like I said, this is just corroborative discussion, just to corroborate and then to make it a little bit of practical. Maybe we discuss scenarios Yes, and the like. He has mentioned, and I recall it, I have a list of them here. We have 11 of them more. And popular among them, which I know before now, everybody understood the fact that if you need to allow, if you would not allow police to chop your money, let me use that language, then you should have this the minimum cover. That is third-party motor insurance. But there's a little game changer. There's a game changer here. And what is the changing thing in this law? Before now, ECOWAS brand card was never compulsory. ECOWAS brand card was never compulsory. But given the consolidating law, how it has been reenacted, we now see that it is not only mandatory for you and I who use our vehicle on the road, or who authorize the use of our vehicles on the road, or who are in possession of vehicle being used on Nigerian road to comply with the requirement of the law with regards to owning or having at least third-party motor insurance. Third-party motor insurance. He said, and I will quickly reiterate it, Section 184 of NERA 2025 specifically speaks to third-party motor insurance. And the focus of this aspect of the law is to ensure that victims of road accidents are not left uncompensated. Take, for example, you have your vehicle being used by yourself or by your driver. Perhaps there's a collision on the road, which happens to be that you happen to be the cause of the damage. So instead of you begging or appealing or do like people like me, just do the valet, you prostrate. Oh my God, please forgive me. All you just need to do is to put a call through to your broker, and which in this instance, Cordros Insurance Brokers. You put a call through to them, if you have placed your risk through them, and then you inform them regarding the incident on the road, exchange details with the victim third party. Perhaps they ask you, bring your copy of your certificate, or they do not even allow you to go. Just put a call to your broker right there and then they will give you assistance. So it becomes compulsory that if you have your vehicle, whether you use it by yourself or anyone uses it on your behalf, on Nigerian road, you must have this third-party motor insurance. Third-party motor insurance. And on what we know now and what we know, as per the circular of NICOM regarding this, at least for your car, you need to pay a token of 15,000 just to insure your car. To insure against this liability. Now, what does this? It covers injury to third party. Injury to third party. And perhaps if that incident results in death of third party, that policy third party will that it will cover their medical expenses up to a reasonable extent. In fact, the law does not even define the extent to which the medical expenses are incurred by the third party may be paid for. But for property, there's a cap on that. There's a cap on how much it can pay. Yes, for example, if your car damages someone else's property, there's a cap of 3 million naira that you can have this. But I want to believe that, so that is a cap of that. Then, like, somebody may ask me a question. How many times can I make a claim on my third-party motor insurance policy in a year? During an insurance period. Now, let me put it this way. You have bought third-party motor insurance for 15,000 naira, and you know it's covering your legal liability to third party. That is for the injury you caused to third party or for property you damaged. Now, how many times can this cover respond on my behalf? I must tell you, there is no limit to the time. You are surprised? No, there's no limit to the time. For example, if it happens that, let's say, February 26th, your car cause damage to third party's property, and your insurer undertake repair or whatever, they compensate you. And maybe sometime in March, another incident occurs, you still have right to make a claim for for a new incident. Let's say a week later, again, you were involved in another accident, although you may be termed to be a bad risk, but it's an unforeseen incident. And this is something you don't have control over. So if it happens that your vehicle or you incur more than multiple liabilities, say multiple, I mean, there are several incidents in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like that. This insurance, court apartment insurance, will still respond. They will take up the policy will take up the liability on your behalf. And I've said for them, there's no limit to what insurance company can pay on your behalf. If the family of the deceased sued you for death caused to their family member. And then, what about for property? When you add top apartment insurance on your private vehicle, the limit is as much as 3 million. As much as 3 million naira. So you can claim up to that. Yes, I want to believe that maybe sometime soon, maybe our parliament or our National Assembly may think in the direction of what to take in other francophone countries, in West African countries, because when you get to other francophone countries, I tell you, the limit that we have in this regard is not as the same as what we have here. That's why let me go to ECOWAS brand card now. ECOWAS brand card before now was not compulsory. In fact, it was optional. You could have your third party insurance without buying ECOWAS brand card. Yes, because somebody will ask me, oh, do I have to travel to Ghana? Do I travel to Sierra Leone? Do I travel to, why do I have to drive there? But you know what? You may not drive there. There are several people who use their vehicles across the border. And it has come to knowledge that, the purpose of establishing, for this ECOWAS country, establishing the bank card system was a bit defeated in that many people considered it, because it was optional, many people saw no reason, they did not find any reason for them to buy. So there was a modification to that. And in response to this modification and to further integrate the community, then the National Assembly has deemed it fit to insert it or to include it in the new law, that is the NERA. And so Section 103 of NERA 2025 speaks to ECOWAS brand card as compulsory. Meaning, now the question would be, do I need to pay for ECOWAS brand card separately now that I've already bought third party insurance for 15,000 naira? The answer is no. You have to pay for it. 15,000 naira taking care of your need for insurance in Nigeria. Your need to comply with Section 84 of NERA 2025 here in Nigeria. And also it will take care of the need to comply with Section 103 of NERA Act 2025. So whether you use your vehicle inside Nigeria or not, automatically you have to what? You have this because it's already embedded in your cover. Now, let's make a progress. What if I decided to buy top automotive insurance? What will happen? I'm just asking. The provision of the law is that if you fail to buy or to comply with this section of the law, you can be penalized. You can be penalized. What is the penalty for non-compliance? Very simple. 250,000 naira being a fine, or serve a custodial sentence of 12 months. When I say custodial sentence, what does that mean? I mean, just be in the custody of the, we no longer call them Nigerian prison. We call them Yes, just to be with them for 12 months, maybe to do some community service and the like. You will not want to do that. That's why it is just profitable for you and I. It is beneficial for you and I to save ourselves from that trouble just by what? By complying with the requirement of Section 84 to buy what? Or property motor insurance. It is optional. If you want to insure your own personal car, it is optional. Law does not make that one mandatory. But for property liability, it is mandatory. It is mandatory. And pre-individual, you and I, organization, religious settings, and the like are mandated. Nobody is exempted except few bodies like vehicles used by Nigerian Army, by Nigerian police, are exempted from me. But you are not, you are not a Nigerian Army. Yes, you are not. Your vehicle is not. It does not belong to the Nigerian police. Why not insure it? Now, what happened? Before now, what happened? People were seen as buying fake insurance. NIRA 2025 attempt to curb this. Now, if you present forged certificates or failure to produce document will attract penalty the same way I've discussed, 250,000 naira or 12 months imprisonment. All right, so let me go to the next one. Let's discuss the next one now. Now, let's go to insurance of building, that is building under construction. Dr. Agbila has equally discussed this regarding Section 75 of NIRA Act 2025. Now, building insurance is not compulsory. What type of building? Is it when I'm just having I better pass my neighbor kind of, or God has blessed me kind of building? The answer is no. Guess what? The answer is no. What is he saying is basically that now, according to Section 75 of NIRA 2025, right? There are certain things that are envisaged. If you are involved in a project, in building project that involves more than one floor, building projects that involves what? More than one floor. What's now one floor? I mean 2 floors, 3 floors, till skyscraper, or whatever. You are expected to buy this builders or building builders liability insurance. Builders liability insurance. It is now mandatory. It is no longer optional. And the focus or the essence of this section of the law is to ensure that there is accountability on our part. We have heard scenarios of building collapsing. In fact, the one you cannot forget is the one that happened somewhere in Lagos, Banana Island, was it? Maybe like 2 years ago, where maybe a building of like 15-story collapsed. You know, some people were not lucky to get out alive, although we have some people that actually suffered bodily injury. So what happened to their family? What should happen to them? That is why the National Assembly deemed it fit that it was necessary to incorporate this into the law. That when you are having a building project exceeding 1 floor, then you must have what we call builders liability insurance. What is the coverage? What is it covering? Now, the coverage of this is to respond on your behalf. You as the building, or you be trespassing in that building. This policy will cover your legal liability for death or injury caused by construction activities. For what? For death or what? Or injury caused by what? By negligence or by construction activities. By construction activities. That is the purpose. That is the focus. Now, let's look at the insurance obligation. Who are the people? Anyone who is involved in building projects that is more than 1 floor. Penalty is there. 5 million naira penalty, being a fine, or an imprisonment of up to 2 months, or both sometimes. And in fact, one thing that I know the state government does is that if your building happens to collapse in the course of construction, by what we see, government will even come after you. Yeah, take over the land from you. But you have an obligation now. And the obligation of what is that you have a builder's liability insurance. The agencies of government have been authorized, have been empowered by this law to seal any construction site, not provide evidence of what? Evidence of compliance. Evidence of what? Evidence of compliance. I've just spoken to you with regards to what? To construction project. That is the builder's liability insurance. Now, the one like this, a similar one like it, but not the same, is the one covered under Section 76 of NERA 2025. Section 76 of NERA 2025. Don't forget, NERA is an acronym for Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025. So Section 76 mandates that owners of public buildings must have what we call public building insurance, or you call it class liability insurance. It's very brief. What does it look like? What does it look like? We have public areas like offices or anywhere that the public has access is a public area. Talk about schools, talk about hotel, talk about offices, and many areas, cinema, shopping mall, supermarkets, any area or any building where the public has access. The owner or the occupier, anyone who has control over such premises, over such property, is mandated by the law. Is what? Mandated by the law. And in particular, Section 76 of NERA 2025 mandates such individual under whose control that public building is to possess or to procure public building insurance. That is occupiers liability insurance. Occupiers liability insurance. And what does it cover? It is meant to cover the legal liability of the owner or occupier. Yeah, you may occupy a premises not as owner. For example, we have seen buildings that are leased out to people. You are not the owner, but as a lessee, you have responsibility for the property. You have a duty of care under the law to what? To ensure safety of people coming to the premises. So if for any reason there's issue or there's a damage, maybe caused by fire and related peril, as I'm going to discuss in a few minutes, then, and that involves property, then you have obligation to what? To compensate third party for death, bodily injury, or property damage. Death, bodily injury, or what? Or property damage. The broad definition of public building, you can imagine, religion centers are there. So if you are listening to this you are listening to me on this webinar by now, and you are an insurance practitioner, right? You now know that the law has given more opportunity to us. That even all the religious centers, be it churches or mosques, or the third one, maybe shrine, for that matter, where public are accommodated, maybe worship or whatever business transaction, they are mandated. It could be hosted. It could be school. So mean that you as a school owner, all you need to do is what? Cordros Insurance Brokers, and then they can help you to what? To arrange this cover so that you don't run foul of the law. So the obligation is on owners and occupiers. Owners, if you own the property and you manage it. occupiers, if you are not the owner, but the building has been leased to you, you have control over the premises, then material damage and public liability insurance for this purpose. Material damage and public liability policy for this purpose. Now let's see. What about penalty for failure? The law defines penalty for failure. There's a provision for fine or imprisonment. Fine or imprisonment. And so also, the regulatory authority has every right to seal up the property. And their way to see what? To seal up the property. And for insurance companies too, the insurance companies equally have their own obligation under that same law, section 76 of NIRA, and that of every premium, of every net premium. When I say net premium, the insurance practitioner understand that is received by insurance company on this cover, 0.25% of it must be contributed into what we call fire service maintenance fund. Fire service maintenance fund. And the purpose or the focus of this, or the intent of this, is to support emergency response. Like what happened GNI building. That happened on the 24th of December 2025. For what to know, several properties were damaged belonging to third party. And then we have cases of people dying in that regard. If you have this cover in place, you are protected. You are protected. Now let's go to insurance of government assets and employees insurance. Government assets and employees insurance. Now, as government agencies, all government, all or every federal government agency is mandated to comply with the section of this law. That is section 77 of NIRA 2025. Section 77 of NIRA 2025. And the requirement is that all federal entities to insure government assets as well as what? As well as their employees against disaster, against damage. So they are mandated to what? To have insurance policy in place for the employees. You cannot take property insurance to cover employees, but you take life insurance policy to cover the employees. And for the property, you buy what? You buy property insurance to cover this and the like. So that being that, section 77 of NIRA 2025 speaks to that. Then now, also because of time, we talk about the insurance for petroleum and gas operation. Insurance for petroleum and gas operation. Following the passage of the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, it is now mandated for owners and operators of fuel station or filling station or tank farm owners, tank farm owners, or owners of vehicles that transport petroleum products from one location to the other to have this insurance. It's insurance for what? For petroleum and gas operators. Now, you in the house, you have 2 or more trucks hauling petroleum products from one location to the other. Let's say from Lagos, from Apapa Tank Farm or forever to any area in Nigeria. You are required by section 78 of NIRA 2025 to insure. And the insurance is what? Is to cover your legal liability, to compensate third party. Legal what? Legal liability to compensate who? Third party. Somebody will ask me, what happened to my own vehicle? What about my own filling station? What happened to them? I will come back to just speak to that. The property insurance will take care of that. But the focus of section 78 of NIRA is to have you to prepare your operation cause damage to third party. So the cover is what? For third party losses, which may result from fire. Imagine if a gas tank explodes, or if we have seen cases of petrol tanker maybe on Otedola Bridge and several areas in Lagos, outside the Lagos, and the like, resulting into explosion. And this explosion does not only destroy vehicles and other properties on the road, but also it causes death. So in order not to leave these people stranded, you are mandated by the law. Section 78 of NERA 2025 mandates you to do what? To insure against this liability. Against what? This liability. And the responsibility, I told you, the obligation to insure rests with stations operators and what? And transport owners or transport operators. Transport what? Operators. What happened to me if I fail to insure or if I fail to comply? Just have a fine of 1 million naira or prison sentence. And do you know what? It's at the discretion or you are at the mercy of the judge. The judge or the deciding judge, a magistrate, can pronounce, a magistrate can pronounce a fine of 1 million naira and a prison sentence of not less than 12 months to serve as what? As deterrence or penalty for non-compliance. So it is required that you have this. Then also, by the way, Dr. Agbola discussed the professional indemnity for healthcare provider. I've told you, I said, my job here is to provide a corroborative discussion or engagement. It's just a corroborative. He has cited several issues, or cited several occasions where healthcare givers are found wanting in the area of negligence. In the area of what? In the area of negligence. We have seen cases of claims being presented just because an healthcare giver failed to do what is expected of them professionally in that field. So for owners of hospitals, clinics, dental and medical practices, lab operators, mortuary, and the like, the law mandates them to what? To have professional indemnity for their operation. In fact, the implication for not having it is that the individual may lose their practicing license or they may have it suspended. Because according to Section 80 of NERA 2025, the leaders of government can recommend to the health authority to have the license of that caregiver or that health caregiver withdrawn if they fail to comply with this. If they fail to comply with it, how do I go about insuring? Because I know you may be asking yourself now, yes, I own a hospital. I have a clinic. I have a lab. So how do I go about insuring? Very simple. As soon as I'm done with this presentation, my other colleagues will come up, present you with the details of Cordros Insurance Brokers that you can contact. They will provide you details with regards to how you can go about this. And we have nothing less than 48 insurance companies in Nigeria. Chief among them is Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC, where I happen to work, or where I work. You can arrange this cover for you, and then you are home and dry. Should you be found wanting in any way, not even by what you do, but even by what other people that you engage in your service to, because you know what? You have a vicarious liability as far as they are concerned. Whatever any of your employees who are involved in providing this service under your leadership, whatever they do, Then you have the vicarious liability. You own the responsibility. You are accountable for their failure. That is why you must not wait until you are bad. That's why you must not wait until you are sued. Get insurance today. And it's just what? For, very tiny sum. Professional indemnity for what? For healthcare giver. Healthcare giver. I've already discussed what could be the penalty. You can have your license seized. So you must look in this area. And for you in the house listening to me, as an insurance practitioner, right? These are the areas we need to open up. Let the public realize, let the public know that what? That the law mandates them. The health caregiver, let them know that the law mandates them to have what? To have this insurance in place. Then let me go to Section 81 because of time. Time is flying. Section 81 is talking about aviation liability insurance. Aviation liability insurance. Dr. Agbala, you probably discussed this. Let me just go into practical. What this is covering is not covering the aircraft itself. It's covering the legal liability, the requirement of Section 81 of Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025 is not to cover the aircraft or the helicopter or the jets. It's not to cover the hull. It's what? It's making the liability aspects of the operation compulsory. And you know what? In section of the law, Section 81, is not only applicable with regards to owners of aircrafts, like let's say Air Peace, Arik Air, and the like. But anybody involved in what is that operation, we have people who are involved. For example, we have fueling operators. Yes, we have people who provide even catering. I'm talking about, but in as much as it involves aviation business or aviation risks, you are mandated. You are what? You are mandated. When I say aviation, anything that happens within the airport side, in addition to, God forbid, if there's a crash, there's an air crash, and the aircraft, the hull, crashes on building or property and like it includes. But in aircraft, you're thinking now that, oh, Moses, no, I don't own any aircraft. I don't have jets. I do not have helicopter. How will I be liable? You may be a caterer. You may be into catering, and you are providing menus for the aviation operators that they serve on board. During your operation on the tarmac or around the vicinity, your action can cause what? Can trigger liability. Or you are aviation fuel refilling operator. Your business is to what? To supply aviation fuel or cleaning and the like. Your action can involve liability. God forbid. Your vehicle can even have an impact damage on aircraft. You don't have the aircraft will not allow you to go scot-free. So in addition, and this as prescribed under the Civil Aviation Act, you have this legal liability. Section 81 is talking about what? Is mandating all air carriers and aviation service providers to what? To have this insurance in place. Type of liability covered. Like I mentioned, it includes passenger injury, third-party property damage, loss of baggage, cargo loss, and the like. The purpose of this law is to ensure that the third party is compensated. And I go to the next one, Section 82, talking about the insurance for imported goods and merchandise. And this one, we're not unfamiliar with this in the territory. But now let me speak to people among us who are, let's say, clearing and forwarding agents. Yeah, clearing and forwarding agents, importers of goods, and like. Now, much more than you ever thought. There's an obligation on you to what? To have your merchandise insured. And not that you are insuring alone, you are insuring with insurance company operating in Nigerian markets. That is the regulation. Operating what? In Nigerian markets. And this coverage is as provided under various clauses, or under various institute cargo clauses and like marine cargo, transit insurance, what? Oh, my apologies. I hope you can hear me now. It's a that I was off.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My apologies. Okay. So as I was saying, we have various cargo clauses, and you want to know about it, contact Cordros Insurance Brokers. They will give you information regarding how you go about insuring your cargo coming from overseas to Nigeria. Remember that you have obligation according to Section 82 of NIRA 2025 to insure your merchandise, your goods coming into this country or selling into this country with insurance company operating in Nigeria. And then there's a strict penalty regarding your failure. If you fail to comply with this section of the law, then for one, is that the law imposes a fine of up to 1 million naira or an equivalent premium to ensure that there's a proportional and deterrent penalty on you. All right, let me speak more. Let's talk about group life very briefly. Dr. Agbola has already discussed this, but the area I'm actually going is what if my employer fails to put in place group life for me? There's an implication for that company. What implication is it? The implication is that if any employee dies in service and there's an evidence that the employer does not have group life insurance in place, the law mandates them, Section 68 mandates them to pay 3 times the annual emolument of that deceased employee. So now, employee can actually be satisfied that with or without your employer complying with the law, that is their problem. You are very sure that the law has made it mandatory for what? For the employer to provide benefits to the family of the deceased. But you as an employer, having a group life covering your group of employees is something very fantastic because what? It saves you from a lot of stress. It saves you from what? From facing the law, the wrath of the law. And you want to know more about this? Please contact Cordros Insurance Brokers, and then they will be able to give you more information. Then let me talk about credit life insurance. Now, according to Section 91, Subsection 3 of Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, any organization that grants a loan of 10 million naira and above is mandated to demand from the borrower credit life insurance. It's mandated to demand from the borrower credit life insurance. You are into, maybe you are microfinance, maybe you are in the house listening to me, and so you are into, the person of, let's say, microfinance bank, or you are commercial bank or another scheme of that nature, where you can or you are likely to advance of a loan of 10 million and above, there's an imposition on you to comply with Section 91, Subsection 3 of the law, you must, as a condition to draw down, as a condition to give you the loan, you must request borrower or the intended that client to provide what? Credit life insurance. And you are there. You want to go into a building project and your fund is not available right now. You want to approach a commercial bank for loan or a microfinance bank for loan. And in fact, once you meet with Cordros Capital, I tell you, they will provide for you. They are ready. The product is available for you. Just contact them. Information will be rolled out very soon. They will arrange for you. You want to get a loan? Don't worry. You don't have to stress yourself. You don't need to go to. You don't need to go far. It's a one-stop shop, right? It's a one-stop shop. Get it. But you know what? You have a mandate. What mandate on you? Get a credit life insurance. This credit life insurance operates. Let me tell you how it operates. It operates in a reducing balances basis. A reducing balances basis. Now, the amount you got as loan constitutes your sum assured. I mean, constitutes the risk that is being carried by the lender. And that will be the sum assured. Based on the repayment term, as you need to repay the loan, I mean, to repay the fractional part of the capital over time, the benefit recoverable under the credit life assurance become reduced by the same proportion. By what? By the same proportion. So there's a direct link between your repayments and your sum assured depleting. For example, let's say you got a loan, 10 million naira, and you have to pay it in 10 equal installments. And God has helped you, you repaid first month, second month, third month, fourth month. For whatever reason, disability, these are the things that we cannot, you don't have power over. There are risks. Because the law says if there's a disability or death of the borrower, if there's a disability, for example, and you become incapable, you become incapacitated, God forbid, that you become incapacitated, you are unable to repay the outstanding loan balances, then your insurance will pay on your behalf. So why do you have to stress yourself? If you get a loan from Cordros Capital, don't worry, just stop by Cordros Insurance Brokers to see Ms. Solabode. She will arrange credit life insurance for you with any of the licensed underwriters in Nigeria, including Rent Exchange, Prudential, and then you do what? You are home and dry. As you repay, remember, your obligation depletes. If for any reason you are unable to pay until the time of disability, God forbid, or the owner of life takes it, your family will not have to be paying loan on your behalf. Cordros Insurance Brokers will arrange to get payment on your behalf. That means that the risks covered are death or permanent disability. Death or permanent disability. All right. Mean that. Okay, let me discuss the very last one, and then we'll make it practical again. That is insurance of container. That's container insurance. Long before now, the history I want you to happen is that you as a haulage operator, I'm speaking to you now as a haulage operator, you are helping to haul containerized goods from any of the Nigerian ports. It could be from One Port in Parakot to any part of Nigeria. Or it could be from Tinkan Port or to Lily Port or whatever, to any part of Nigeria, any part of this country, Nigeria. Before, the demand used to be that, okay, go and give us a deposit. Imagine, you are just starting life. You are just starting business. Somebody is asking you because you have to carry a containerized goods. Go get me a security. Get me a deposit. You will have to go and borrow money, pay deposit. The law forbids that now. Going forward, Section 203 of NIRA 2025 now requires that you have what? You have container insurance. Container insurance. What risk does it cover? This insurance covers your liability for damage to the container while it is in your custody, as it is being moved from one location to the other, being used to transport goods from one location, from any of the ports in Nigeria to another location in Nigeria. And perhaps you fail to comply with this, then a fine can come on you. I think with this, I've been able to do a corroborative discussion to my beloved brother and friend of many years with regards to compulsory insurances in Nigeria. Thank you. We are now open to questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses Oyeyemi. Very insightful. And thank you for going in details, showing us in details what is covered under each of the compulsory insurance. Thank you so much. So we'll now go to the questions. I'll go to the chat box to take questions. We have some of the attendees that have dropped questions there. For those of you that are asking for the presentation slide, it will be sent to you, to all the attendees via the email. Then this question is for Dr. Agbola. Dr. Agbola, so the one that is for Doctor, I will direct it to Doctor. The one that is for Mr. Moses Oyemi, I will direct it to him. So David Okeke is asking Dr. Agbola, are there employers that are exempted from employers' compulsory insurance? Are there employers that are exempted from employers' compulsory insurance? That's for Dr. Agbola.
Okay, thank you, Madam Olanike Olabode. I'm trying to process that question. Are there
employers that are exempted from employers' compulsory insurance?
Okay, we mentioned 11
of them.
Categories of compulsory insurances. Apart from what my dear friend and brother David Tokbe said, there are no exemptions except for exemptions of the military under the motor third party insurance. Then for group life, if you are an employer and you only have 2 staff, the law does not say you should provide group life insurance for those 2 staff. So those are like windows of opportunity that we could say you are exempted. But apart from those 2, I don't think there is no exemption to anyone. They are compulsory insurance. The obligation must be abided by. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Agbola. This question is also for you. The attendees wanted, Oluwagbemi guys asking for clarity on building construction for all buildings, or is the insurance on building construction, is it for all building or residential building are exempted? Is residential building exempted under insurance on building constructions?
Okay, for building under construction, the law is clear. Moses did explain. Whether residential or commercial or industrial building, if the building has more than 1 floor, you must provide insurance coverage. Professor Moses Oyeyemi will handle the technicalities around that.
All right, Mr. Moses.
Thank you. If I may just add to what you have said, like it does not matter. The law is not discriminatory with regards to who should buy. The law is not discriminatory, whether it is residential or commercial. What the focus of the law is, if you are involved in a building project and then you are constructing an edifice of more than 1 floor, so the law is not discriminatory, so you must have it. Then maybe just to add, let me just use this opportunity to add to what Dr. Agbola mentioned with regard to the first question. Like, are there any employer exempted not to have group life within? Remember, we discussed insurance of government assets and employee. by virtue of that, that answers that question that even government agencies are mandated, all federal agencies of government are mandated not only to ensure the assets, the physical assets of the government, but also what? Their employees. So for me, it's a non-exemption. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Aki today is asking, this question is also for Doctor. Aki today is asking, he wants you to elaborate more on the social stability. The social stability being one of the reasons for compulsory insurance. He wants you to elaborate more on that.
Okay, thank you. Munirat, well done. My dear friend and brother Moses Yemi mentioned that when you have your vehicle on the road and you hit any person who is not a third party, and if it is a case of hit and run, and that person laid on the floor, uncatered for, that compulsory insurance under the road accident compensation fund will be taken care of. So by social stability, we are talking about a case where no one who had suffered loss, destruction, damage, or injury is left unstabilized by the action or inaction, negligence of anyone on the road. So compulsory insurance helps to stabilize the losses that members of the public suffer. That's what we mean by stabilization. If there are no compulsory insurances and the various funds that have been created by Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025 is not created, it means that the people that suffered from the illegalities or from that are victims of some of these accidents will not be taken care of. So compulsory insurance is in place so that everyone will not go uncompensated arising from losses from road users or any of those classes we have mentioned. That's what we mean by stabilization. And that's one of the legal reasons government promulgates compulsory insurances. If those things are not there, then we have a lot of injustice. We have cases where people can't have their life restored back to them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So I'll go to the next question, and that will be for Mr. Moses Oyeyemi. This one is from Enoch Osaji. He's asking whether he still needs to get third-party insurance if he already has a comprehensive cover.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the question. The answer is no. I quickly answer this way. Now, there are different levels of cover, as you know, in motor insurance, but the law is very particular about the minimum. We have only, in this webinar, our focus is not actually to discuss the elaborate or the various types of insurance which we're only speaking to the law. What NERA say? What does NERA say? The NERA said you must insure against third-party liability, which may arise from the use of your motor vehicle on Nigerian road. So let's now take it. If you have a comprehensive motor insurance, for those of us who are insurance people, insurance practitioners, we do know very well that comprehensive motor insurance does not only cover third-party liability, but also damage your own vehicle. So if you have a comprehensive motor insurance, you don't need to buy a standalone third-party motor insurance. You have already fulfilled the law because in the comprehensive motor insurance is embedded third-party liability. It's covering third-party risks, which are death, bodily injury, or property damage as prescribed by the law. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take 2 more questions from the questions in the chat box. So the rest of our participants can send their questions via email. All the questions will be attended to. So this question will also go to Mr. Moses Oyeyemi. What is the minimum liability to petrol or gas truck owner in the event of accident to third party car damage beyond repairs? What is the minimum liability to petrol or gas truck owner in the event of accident to third party car damage beyond repairs?
All right, thank you. Now, one thing is that NERA did not specify the minimum. NERA did not specify the minimum. Now, that is why you need an insurance broker like Cordros Insurance Brokers, who will bring their prowess, the depth of their understanding your business, looking at the extent of your exposure, the possible liability you may incur using transporting petroleum products on Nigerian road, and then be able to now advise you accordingly. But as far as the law is concerned, there is no minimum. But I tell you, when you approach Cordros Insurance Brokers, in collaboration with other insurance company in Nigeria, they were able to give you the perfect, and you don't only comply with the law, but also will be able to provide compensation should you be liable, even where there are 2-3 more vehicles damaged just by a single accident involving your petroleum tanker. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you to our speakers, the first speaker and the second speaker, Dr. Agbola and Mr. Moses Oyeyemi. We need to round up this section. We need to round up these sections now. It's been quite an engaging section. And I want to say a big thank you to you and to all the participants. For those that still have questions, you can send them through email. All the questions will be attended to. Then you can contact us through our contact center at cordros.com. And we also, our feedback form should also be filled. You can also send your feedback to us through our feedback form. And can contact us on all our social media contacts, contact center at cordros.com. We would like to take your feedback. We would like to take more information from you. I want you to keep in touch with us. Keep tuned with us. Contact us at Cordros Insurance Broker for all your insurance requests. So I want to say a big thank you to our speakers, and I want to say a big thank you to all the attendees. And I want to say thank you for attending. Please stay connected with us on all our social media and for information on financial services. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Our speakers, thank you all for joining. See you next at other time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.